மணிக்கு நினைச்சேன். சொல்லுங்க இங்கே போட்டேன் அப்புறம் மேலே போய் போட்டு வந்துடுவேன். அவர் தொழுவை பார்த்துட்டு இருந்து நம்ம ஆளு
சரி சரி
இதெல்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு எப்படி தூக்கம் முடியும்.
Not yet installed. It's only here. It's only installed.
You can exit from that window. Top one. Yes. Voice one.
The mouse is lost.
Now it is installing. Now it's installing. Now it is visible. Exit from the other way, it will be always visible.
The mouse, I can't find the mouse.
Mouse is there.
But this is my, I'm controlling from here.
Because of that probably. They probably because of this.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, but still I can't.
2 மணிக்கு இன்னும் ஓடி வந்தேன்.
Yeah, kind of.
this he will recite.
Decide यहाँ.
Yeah.
Okay. एक बाहर के नीचे.
So many non-Muslims are
One.
and even that person 48.
Not yet. Usually she comes.
Yeah, we have one for recitation, please. He will be reciting. He will be reciting.
वो ऊपर से जल्दी में ऐसा है
Two person.
आ जा
He will be reciting.
वो ऊपर
बैठना है, सुनना है तो आराम से
Sir,
Yes.
wait 5 minutes more. Some more will come.
Intermediate course on Islam 2014. As usual, we start with the recitation from the Holy Quran. And well, brother, what's your name?
Asif.
Right?
Asif.
Mr. Asif. Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. I swear by the time, most surely man is in loss, except those who believe and do good and enjoin on each other truth and enjoin on each other patience. So today is our brother Jamal Muhammad Ashraff will deliver lecture on Islamic Law, Shariáh. Brother Jamal Muhammad Ashraff, born in South India. He grown and studied in Hong Kong. In the late 80s, his interest grew in studying Islam and other religions to better understand Islam and other faiths in a comparative perspective. Since then, his journey to learn, explore and convey the message never ceased by the will of God. And he hoped to learn through platforms like today in sharing the knowledge and experience with you all. I now request Brother Jamal Ashraff to proceed with his presentation.
All praises due to Allah. We seek His help, we seek His forgiveness. The best of speech is the speech of Allah. The best of actions are the actions of the Prophet ﷺ. And the worst of speech is the speech of Shaitan. And the worst of actions are the actions of Shaitan. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. صدق الله صدق العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. As the brother announced, today's subject is Shariáh. Though it was designed to address the non-Muslims, that was the whole purpose. But anyway, it will also benefit a lot of Muslims. So since we are 100% Muslim right now, so I try to fit in how I can speak in context with how you have understood the word Shariáh, right? But overall, it's a very basic thing. Of course, I can't do justice to this subject by just giving you 40 minutes. Wallahi, this is a vast subject. Even to understand the position of law giving, who gives law, who makes certain thing halal, who makes certain thing haram, we need sections. Right? So, but anyway, this will definitely assist myself and yourself as something that will trigger your interest to learn more. Right? So this this is a very, very fundamental, I would say, a tip in the ocean. That's it. Right? It's a very small dewdrop that I'm going to share with you. So Shariáh, the summary of religious foundation is Islam is a religion and a way of life. It's very important. Islam is a deen. It's not just something that tells you what is wrong, what is right, what is rituals. It's a way of life which teaches mankind from the moment he's born until the moment he dies, how he should conduct himself. Based on the commandments of Allah. Right? It's purely from Allah. Contained in the noble Quran and the Sunnah, which you all know, so I don't need to explain what it is. Every Muslim is under an obligation to fashion his entire life in accordance with the dictates of the Quran and the Sunnah. So this, I think, as Muslims, we have no objection to that. So he or she has to observe every step, the distinction between what is halal, right, and haram, what is wrong. It's everything you're doing in life. It could be as small as insignificant stuff, something that's very small, but even there you have to see what Islam has to say about it. This highlights the need and the importance of a Muslim acquainting himself with the Shariáh of Islam. Because Shariáh is a broad sense, is a broad word to that can be very minute, from micro to macro. So Allah is the lawgiver. The first concept of Islam is that the law, the one who dictates, who produces law, who tells you what is right and what is wrong, and what is that is not good for you, what is good for you is not in the hands of the Prophet, it's not in the hands of any human being, it's not in the hands of any jinn or any shayateen. It's only in the hands of Allah. Allah is the one who provides law, because the one who created knows what he has created. It's a simple logic. You don't need to do PhD to understand that logic. A manufacturer who manufactures a VCR or a PC is the only one who can tell you how it works and how it should not be treated. Right? He's the only one. A layman who may not know the technology cannot be in a position to address or to advise. So likewise, when we talk about a higher goal, as a Muslim, Shariáh wants us to reach a higher goal. So Allah has ordained for us what is called a divine law. Shariáh is an Arabic word meaning the path to be followed. That's what it means. Literally, it means a way to the watering place. You see, the concept is so beautiful because water is an element you need in order to survive. There is no survival if there is no water. And this is a basic science. Anyone who is studying in your secondary will tell you if there is water found, scientists conclude the fact that there must be some living thing there. Otherwise, it's not fit to live. So that's how it is Allah's framed the word Shariáh. It is a path not only leading to Allah, the Most High, but the path believed by all Muslims to be the path shown by Allah, the Creator Himself, through His Messenger, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? In Islam, Allah alone is the law provider. He is the only one who stands out. And it is He who has the right to ordain a path for the guidance of mankind. Thus, it is only Shariáh that liberates man from servitude to anything other than Allah. That's very important. What is the difference between Islamic Shariáh and the so-called secular system that we follow? You see, the idea of secular law, which is actually the Romanic law, or the Greek law, or the Persian law that was put together, evolved over time, and then part of Islamic law was also taken in, and then today we have something called the modern man's law. When humans design a law, do you think it's going to be so perfect that it's going to be unbiased? It's going to have So every time a human designs a law, he ensures that either benefits him, his race, his ethnicity, or his people, or his profession if he's a lawyer. exactly how humans would design the system of law. But when Allah is involved directly in designing the law for humanity, there is no biasness, there is no ethnicity, there is no favoritism. In the sight of Allah, everybody is the same. We are all same whether you be whatever color you can be or whatever is your level of education. So that's why Allah takes, it says in the Quran, then we put you, O Muhammad, on an ordained way concerning the matter of religion, so follow it. And do not follow the inclination of those who do not know. So this is a warning that Allah is giving to our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In that route, it's a warning to us. So follow what Allah has ordained for you. Do not follow the inclinations of humans who have no knowledge. You see, so this is not only an advice, but is a dire warning. Now, Shariáh. You see, the main focus of Shariáh is to establish justice and to be merciful. Justice is a very key element in Islam. So much so that justice is the center theme in the Quran, dictating the traditions of law and how it should be put into practice. There are two ways in which justice operates. One is a legal sense, which we are going to look into, and the other is a divine sense. Divine sense is something we're not going to go into because that's not the subject. The subject is Shariáh, a divine law. So we are going to look into the legal sense of the law. You see, if you look into the Quran, how many places Allah talks about fair justice? Matter of fact, every time Allah tells us that if you want water from the heavens, if you want green vegetation, you want to have a fertile land, if you want to live good in this life, the first condition Allah says, be just. That's the first condition. So that is a clear picture. Any nation that has the best justice system is always progressive. Have you noticed that? And Hong Kong is one of those cities where justice is actually implemented to the core. Why are our countries suffering?
No justice.
Because there's no justice. You understand? In the 17th century, a Muslim scholar, I'm talking about, no, it was the 19th century, during the progress of the West. The West was coming up where the Muslims were regressing in their progress. They were going down the drain. And there were a lot of factors that affected the Muslim Ummah. And the main factor was, we shut all doors to learning. We closed every door to progress. Where the Westerners knew it, without that progress, they're not going to reach miles. So during that time, a Muslim scholar, a learned person, he traveled through France. Okay? This is a fact. He traveled through France. He saw the establishment of French, because that was during the French Renaissance. And then he traveled through Egypt, predominantly Muslim country, till today. And then he says in his book, I saw Islam in France, but I didn't see Muslims. Meaning to say, those people were accepting the progress in order to grow with it. And then he said about Egypt, I saw Muslims, but I see no Islam. So the non-Muslims, despite the early history tells us that they learned from the Muslims, but as soon as they learned, they knew how to take off. You see, knowledge is something, once you learn the basics, the rest comes easy. Am I correct? The basics you need to know. The fundamentals are important, the rest develops. So what happened? As soon as Muslims started to lag behind progress, even Islam became a burden to them. So much so that they substituted Shariáh after World War II, when the Britishers left, Muslim nations were given the independence. They actually kept the secular law, which overtook the Shariáh. So today, if the Muslim world is going through so much of chaos, it's because of our own hands. Justice is not implemented. So Allah says very clearly that without justice there is no progress. So Shari'ah came down from the heavens to do justice to all of us, be it Muslim, be it non-Muslim. Right? And Quranic command. Regarding justice in the legal sense, the Quran tells Muslims not only how to conduct themselves, but it also emphasizes relationship with other people. Islam is so beautiful. Have you heard of this hadith where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in his last seminar, he asked the people, have I delivered the message to you? People said yes. Then he says, Ya Allah, you bear witness to this fact. As soon as he said that, he asked, is there anybody, he said first, did I ever say or do anything that offended any one of you? Remember, they were Muslims, they were mushriks, they were Yahud. So we have three different communities, including hypocrites. We have four category of people in that final words of the Prophet ﷺ. Nobody raised a finger. But he asked, do I owe any of you anything? So one Jewish man said, yes, O Messenger of God, you took some sustenance from me, some wheat or flour, which you said you pay, but I think you are not paid. For that, which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him, this is my sword, you take it, whatever it is worth, you sell it and keep it. Am I correct? So justice was implemented even to a non-Muslim in an Islamic state. And likewise, you will see throughout the life of the companions, they upheld their justice. Whether you're a Christian or a Jew or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Where is justice, they spoke for it. Even if the justice was so much that it went against a Muslim. So there was no, they didn't support a Muslim because he was a Muslim. It never happened. Now, O he who believe, Allah says in the Quran, stand out firmly for justice, has witnesses to Allah, even if it be against yourself, your parents, and your relatives, or whether it is against the rich or the poor. So there is a norm. Like I said, justice prevails over all norms of life, all relations of life. And the Quran says in another place, let not the hatred of people waver you away from justice. You see, if you have some hate for people, for example, in today's world, Muslims have as a whole a certain hate for the Western community. But that hate, yes, we hate them for a genuine reason, but that hate or that dislike should not ever make us commit injustice to them. So this is a command Allah gives. Even if you have hatred for somebody, there's disliking for some person or community or ethnicity, you are to be just, for this is closest to being righteous for. Justice is assimilated in Islam closer to taqwa. So if you say you are a person of taqwa, then you have to have the sense of justice. And be just, for it is the closest to God's consciousness. So being just means you're being a very good Muslim. Okay, justice in the hadith, where Prophet ﷺ, he gave us 7 people who will have the shade of Allah on the day where there will be no shade. Among the 7, one of them is a just ruler, a just leader, a just king. Because when you are in authority, sometimes justice may not be in your dictionary. Sometimes you are to show favor upon your own people or your own caste or your own ethnicity. So Allah Rabbul Alameen, through, this is Hadith Qudsi, where he says, sorry, this is in the Hadith al-Qudsi, he says, among the 7 are those, one of them is a just ruler. And another Hadith, Allah says, this is in Hadith Qudsi, O my slaves, I have forbidden injustice for myself, that is for Allah Himself, and forbid it also for you, so avoid being unjust to one another. So Allah Himself has ruled out from His attributes that unjust is not part of His attributes. And He recommends, He strongly forbids us as Muslims, the servants of Allah, the Abdullah, that you should not be unjust to one another. And the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ also says, the Prophet ﷺ said, when Allah completed the creations, he wrote on his book, which is with him on his throne, my mercy overpowers my anger. So Allah has made injustice haram for himself. So that is Allah. So if somebody tells you in Islam you don't have a God who's merciful, I think they need to go back to Islamic books. The amount of mercy explained in the Hadith and the Quran about Allah is amazing. You will not find this in any other faith or denomination of the world where they have actually hold Allah to such an esteemed position where He shows so much of love and care for His creation. Have you heard of a story where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said from a man from Bani Israel who murdered 99 and he was seeking forgiveness, right? So one righteous man said, Allah will never forgive you. So he killed him also. So it became 100. Then he went to another sheikh, another ulama in his time. He asked, you're a righteous man, you're a learned person, I want to seek forgiveness from Allah. So he said, you go to this place. There, if you reach there, they'll be learned men. Inshallah, Allah will forgive you. So this man started to go. But before he reached that point, Allah took his soul away. So he died. So the angel of death came to take him. So there was a small dispute among the angels. One said, no, he was going to seek forgiveness, so he should be the person of paradise, Jannah. The other said, no, he has not repented yet. He's not gone to the point, so he should be a man of what? Jahannam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the landscape just for this one servant of his. He changed it in a way that when the angel saw, he was already in the land of forgiveness. That is Allah Rabbul Alamin. Never, ever, ever underestimate Allah's mercy. Right? Remember the man who urinated in the masjid. We all know that hadith. But what we don't know is what happened afterwards. Right? This man, he comes to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as soon as he stopped the Sahabas by going beating him up. He comes to Nabi Sallallahu. The hadith is narrated by the very person who urinated. So later on he became a Muslim because of the treatment of the Prophet, how he treated him. He comes to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and says, Ya O Prophet of Allah, may Allah have mercy on me and you alone. Only you and me. Because he was very pleased with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's attitude, but he was not pleased with the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. For that, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, why are you confining the mercy of Allah when it's so vast? So may Allah have mercy on all of us. Right? He corrected the person. So don't try to restrict Allah's mercy just to yourself, because Allah's mercy is in all His creations. So that is what Shariah is all designed with. It's designed with fairness, just. Whether be it Muslim or non-Muslim. As long as you're in the Islamic state, your affairs are well looked after. Now, what are the sources of Islam? The Shariah has sources. The first primary source of Shariah is the Quran. The Quran, of course, we all know, because this was designed for non-Muslims, you know that it is revealed to the Prophet ﷺ through his Nabi ﷺ. So to the Prophet ﷺ through Allah. Allah through his Jibreel alayhi salam brought it to the lips of Nabi ﷺ, and the way he recited the surahs in the Quran till today we recite the same way. That is one of the miracles of the Quran. Number one, Quran, it contains the knowledge imparted by Allah and the guidance for men who are righteous for all times to come. So Allah has put in this knowledge for times to come. It is a declaration of truth, light to show the right path. So the Quran declares the truth and it shows nur upon nur to those who want to be guided. It is a wise, the complete exhaustion and a clear message. There is no ambiguity in the Quran. There is no double meanings in the Quran where there is no way you can have two different interpretations. When you look into the hadith, you will get the commentary to that ayah. Right?